Hey, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Little Shop of Nerds. Mike.
I'm Julia.
Welcome back. Today we're going to have a new episode for you today, and today's hint is called
Toxic Love.
Yes, we are going to talk about an old 90s movie to you Gen Zers out there, the 1900s. Fuck you, y'all.
Yes, so we are going to be talking about FERNGULLY, The Last Rainforest. So this is kind of like a nostalgia factor for us because this did come out in 1992. Mike, this movie is as old as you.
Fuck off.
So, yes, this movie came out in 1992. It came out at the same time as Aladdin, and it has Tim Curry,
Robin Williams,
and Christian Slater.
And alright, let's get into it.
So, it starts off where the narrator is talking about how humans and fairies used to live, like they used to coexist with each other, and they used to like be friends and everything, and then I think there was like a fire, and the humans fled, but the fairies stayed, and their stories are saying that the humans have become extinct.
And this fire or person was known as hexes. The fairies trapped him in a tree, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But besides that,
And Hexus is voiced by Tim Curry.
Yes, by the great Tim Curry. If you have not heard him, he did a lot of movies. He did the second Home Alone movie with Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. He did the movie Legend with Tom Cruise. I think he played the fucking devil. He played in my favorite musical, which is
Rocky
Horror Picture Show,
which we did a review on last year.
And he did some other great films. He also played Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberrys.
Don't forget that he was also the original It.
Yes, known as Pennywise.
Yes.
And if you have in the comments which one's better, one with Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård, put it in the comments below.
I would never watch it because I am terrified of clowns.
Wouldn't blame you. Hell, I wouldn't even read the book, especially that one chapter.
I mean, I have morbid curiosity, so I do want to read the book eventually.
Uh-huh.
I have a really morbid sense of curiosity, so...
Okay, yeah.
You tell me not to look at something or read something, I'm probably going to read it and look at it.
It's kind of like how when Hogwarts Legacy come out.
Exactly.
Alright, back to what we were saying,
Yeah, so many years have passed. Like, I'm not even quite sure how long have passed. But there's a fairy, and her name is Krista.
Well, the person who's telling the story, her name is Badgie, the great wise fairy.
Yeah, and then you've got Krista, who is supposed to be taking over for Maggie, but her head is just in the clouds, so to speak, because she's really distracted, and she's like, yeah, I know all this, and then she's like, I gotta go, and then she goes off, and then you see her meet up with another fairy named Pips, and Pips is actually her love interest. You can definitely tell he has a thing for her.
Oh, he does.
She doesn't seem to care.
And before we keep going on, another side note, if you're wondering what this rainforest take place in, it takes place in Australia.
That I did not know.
I had to look it up just in case.
Oh, because you would have thought that if it took place in Australia, then why did they all have like American accents and not Australian accents?
Who knows? It's a logging.
I mean, it is from the 90s too, so...
Then again, the 90s were PC, but we didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Okay, so, she's going off, and she's, you see a little bit of the rainforest, and you see the people that live there, and all that, and then she flies up, and over the canopy, which you're not supposed to do, but she does, and then she sees, like, the whole, like, rainforest laid out before her, and then she saw a big giant rock, which we come to find out later that it's called Mount Warning. And then she sees smoke. But she doesn't know what smoke is. She says it looks like a cloud. So she goes to Maggie, whatever. And she's telling her about it. And she's like, that's Mount Warning. It's a mountain. And she goes, you probably see smoke. And she's like, well, what if there are humans over there? And no one believes, no one has seen humans for, years, thousands of years, I'm going to assume.
But she also mentioned first, she didn't mention humans. She thinks it's Hexus returning, and Maggie's like, nah. Until Krista leaves, opens these trees up, and she sees it, and she's like, maybe he's back.
Yeah.
If they don't go near the trees.
Yeah. So, she goes, Krista decides that she's going to go explore it. Well, before that, we meet the Batty.
Voiced by Robin Williams, everyone.
Now, the thing with this movie is this was like Robin Williams' passion project. He wanted people to focus more on this movie than Aladdin, because he was voicing the genie at the exact same time that he was doing this movie. Now, this movie he cared more about than the Disney movie, and he had told Disney, I do not want you to put my name on the Aladdin movie, because I don't want to be known for filming for voicing the genie. I want to be known for voicing Batty or something like that.
And true Disney sense, they didn't give a crap, and they are mostly money-hungry assholes.
Yes, so when they did Return of Jafar, Robin Williams did not come back to do the voice for Genie. It was Dan Castellaneta or something like that.
The dude who voices Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson, yep. And so he's the one that does the voice for the Genie in Return of Jafar, and for all the other media that has to do with the Genie. And then Robin Williams did come back for the King of Thieves to
we need to watch that.
Yeah, to lend his voice to the Genie again. But yeah, there for a long time, Robin Williams and Disney had a falling out because of the way that they handled the merchandising of Aladdin, when he didn't want people to he wanted them to care more about FERNGULLY than Aladdin, because FERNGULLY is about like environmental stuff.
Yes, and it's also an environmental movie, because if y'all don't remember, during the 90s and 80s, we were trying to fight to protect the rainforest.
I mean, I think we pretty much still are, to an extent.
Or are we doing it as much?
Probably not, because people want their quinoa or whatever it's called, that stuff the vegans like to eat.
Yeah, well.
And that's collected by child slave labor.
Oh yeah. Oh, how much more pollution can we cause by bringing your avocados?
Yep. So,
okay,
let's get back on track.
Before we piss off the vegans.
Yeah. So, we meet Batty, and we find out that he was a test subject. So he has like this little antenna stuck to the side of his head that just makes him act really
nutty,
erratic. Krista gives him the sight to see, the fairy sight, so he could see what was going on, because I guess he couldn't really see very well, because bats are nocturnal animals, and this was taking place during the daytime.
We don't know why.
Yeah, so...
And he does a little rap for us.
Yeah.
And I don't care what people say. I like it when Robin Williams raps, because it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
And what was it? He tells them why he's liked it, because of humans. And they say they're long gone, vanished, they're stink, right? And, Krista's curious, and she might want to go find one. And her father, who's voiced by the Sultan from Aladdin, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, come on, they sound the same.
I never noticed.
Well, either way, right? Either way, and he's like, aren't you a little old to believe in human fairy tales? And this is when Batty says, humans don't have tails. They have big butts and wear bad shorts, saying, "Hi, Helen."
Yeah. So, Robin Williams did an amazing job in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And like I miss him every single day. His death hit me really hard when he passed away.
Oh yeah, I did. Because like one thing I like about Robin Williams is this: he was the guy who made. He could be a funny man one minute. He can be serious guy the next moment. He was also a gamer too. He played. He even named his daughter after Zelda.
From The Legend of Zelda. Which, by the way, Zelda is the princess, not the protagonist that you play as.
And it's funny, I think there's someone who said he also played online and he would trash talk people. Imagine you're the guy who got trash talked by Robin Williams.
That would be like the best thing ever.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I know, right? But
I would love to have Robin Williams roast me about how bad I am at playing a game.
Right, but either way, besides that, she does go off, goes exploring.
Batty goes with her.
And, Batty's trying to tell her it's dangerous, humans are dangerous. This, because, he's pointing at his antennas. He's saying, do you think nature did this to me? And...
yeah, so she eventually gets to where she's going, and she sees this big machine, and it's called a leveler, and it's driven by these two guys.
Looks like Disney knockoffs.
Yeah, and they were like eating and drinking inside the leveler, and just letting like other people out they were out there, and they were drawing X's on the trees that needed to be cut down. And you see them going through, asking the other guys, hey, what's going on? How's it going? And they're like, oh, they basically said fuck off without saying fuck off. And then you see this blonde-haired kid who was there that was his summer job. He was only doing that for the summer. And he was also writing or putting X's on the trees. And we find out later that his name is Zach.
And he puts a red X on the black tree that X is strapped in.
Yeah, because what happens is there was a bug, and he was trying to get the bug, and he didn't mean to put the X on the tree. He was trying to spray the bug, and the mark on the tree looked like an X. And so it did get cut down. But before it gets cut down, he runs into Krista, and he thinks that Krista is a bug. He does eventually catch her. There is a tree that's about to fall on him. She makes him small, like a fairy. And they're going, they both get stuck onto a spider web on the tree as the tree is going through the leveler to get cut up. And Batty comes down and saves them both and flies off with them.
Yeah, and and what once he's passed out, Krista's looking through his pockets and everything.
She finds his pocket knife and his wallet, and he freaks out and thinks that she's trying to mug him.
And Batty comes, he wants to kill it, and she calms down the situation, and
yeah, and they're talking. He's like, "What are you, some kind of fairy?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "What?" So, he found out that fairies existed. And they spent the time just kind of talking, and come to find out, he lives in the city where, he has access, to, convenience stores and roads and stores and, a place to live. And, fairies have no concept of that because they've lived in the forest. by themselves for so long, so they're just like, what's going on?
Yeah, and she's like saying, how can you live without, because she's saying how trees bring the rain, the air, and he said, we got air, and Batty's like, yeah, if you want to get all your minerals in one breath.
Yeah. So, they talk. She takes him back to FERNGULLY. And everybody is like kind of interested because he is a human. There is definitely something going on between Krista and Zach, though. Turns out that Zach is her other love interest. And she kind of, like, okay, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen Pocahontas, the Disney version of Pocahontas. You know how Pocahontas had Kokomo, who wanted to marry her, or not Coco, yeah, Kocoum. Yeah. So you had Kocoum who wanted to marry her, and then you had John Smith, who, he ended up, she ended up kissing, that she obviously had feelings for. So to me, Pips is kind of like Kocoum, and Zach is kind of like John Smith.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Pocahontas didn't like Kocoum, because even she's like, really? Because he seems so serious.
Yeah.
And I digress. But besides that, who knows? Fucking Pips could be in the friend zone for a long time.
Well, I mean, we'll get to that at the end of the movie. So, or when we get to the end. So, she's learning a lot about humans, and he tells her, she's asking about, like, the trees that are being cut down or whatever. He's like, oh, the X's are to protect the trees or something like that. And she goes to see Maggie, and Maggie tells her, she was like, this tree, it's a tree that had been cut down. And Krista's like, can't you heal it? And she's like, I can't, because this was done outside of nature. And then she's like, well, Zach said that the red, X's are supposed to be used, to protect the trees. And then she sees all the trees that have been cut down had the red X on them. And then she goes to him and she, she's like, you lied to me. But we are completely skipping over the hexes part.
Yes, and before all this stuff happens, the guys cut down the black tree that had hexes in it, and once it was cut, he escaped from it, became a little black goo at first. Then he's like sipping off pollution, pretty much, the exhaust, the oil, and everything. And he somehow hijacked their radio for some freaking reason. I don't know how. And you can see it's smoking, and the goop is goop coming out of the speaker, and they saying, you're going to go to this place, which is FERNGULLY, and they want you to do it by morning without breaks and everything. And they were like, well, that's overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts singing his song about pollution called Toxic Love,
which is where our hint came from.
And after, like, what is it? He went through a transformation. He became like a puff of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one thing I like about Tim Curry singing. He makes a good villain and does great villain songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, they notice that they're getting closer, and then she does confront Zach, and Zach, admitted it, that, yeah, he did lie to her about it. And, he felt bad for lying to her, and all the fairies had to go to the circle. And so they go into this tree, and Maggie closes it. Zach jumps in at the last minute before it fully closes. And they're doing something. I think they're like lending Maggie their power or something like that. And then Maggie disappears, and she's like, Krista, it's now your turn to take over. And she kind of like disappears. A little bit of her power goes into everybody, including Zach. Zach doesn't get any fairy powers though, because he's just a human. But
right.
But so then Krista basically becomes the new Magi. I'm going to assume that she's kind of like the leader of the fairies.
Yeah.
So then that's what Krista became. So then Krista's like, okay, we need to, fight against this, because at this point, the leveler the Hexus leveler is right there at the edge of their forest. And it's just desolation, like, all, like, behind the leveler. It's just, it's just desolate. And, she's trying her best to fight against it. And she, she doesn't really have the power to. But she does pick up a seed. She makes the seed sprout a little bit.
And she gets eaten.
Yeah. And was that before or after? No. That was after. Okay, so Zach managed to get into the leveler to turn it off.
But he gets help.
With the help of Pips.
Pips and Batty.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, Batty's, like, trying to get him away from the level. He's like, he's like, no way. And he slaps him. He's like, wrong channel. And this is when Robin was like, all right, Pilgrim, we're going to walk. He's, like, doing a John Wayne impression.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Yeah, so Zach manages to turn it off, which Hexus does end up kind of dissolving. Mm-hmm. But then he comes back into, like, a physical form. And he's taking over the leveler as the form, as the physical form that he has. And then that's when Krista goes up to him with a seed and he eats her. And then trees start to sprout on him, but he's like pulling it off. And then everybody's like, come on, we need to give Krista help, help make it grow. And they go and they managed to make a tree grow over the leveler and over Hexus, and he gets sealed again.
As a tree.
But this tree looks nicer.
It's sturdier. Hopefully it don't get cut down again.
Yeah. So, they're like, oh no, Krista got eaten, and then like a flower opened up and she's in the flower.
And I'm like, okay. And Zach says he wants to stay, but he has to go and make a change. And Krista, restored to his perfect size, takes the seed, plants it, and tells the guys, hey, we gotta change this world.
Yeah, and before they left, they watched Krista and the other fairies help make the seed grow. I think it was just Krista that made the seed grow.
And help repop the rainforest, and
it was pretty much the end. There is a second movie. I have not seen the second movie.
Yeah, and truth be told, I love the movie. I don't care what the critics say.
Yeah, the critics have actually given it... critics have given it a 67%, and the audience gave it a 64%. And...
truth be told, it's not a long movie. Mm-hmm. Now, like, if it was, like, Toy Story long, like Toy Story 4 long, I don't know why we needed a fourth one, Disney. The third one was fine. The ending was perfect. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. But, I mean, can't...
But I get it's people's opinion. And also, Mr. Nostalgia Critic, I saw your oldest video of FERNGULLY. I have to say, I love it. Fuck you, bro. I'm just joking. You're not going to listen to us.
Yeah, so, but yeah, this is a very big nostalgia thing for me. It's actually a short movie. It's only an hour and 15 minutes, and that's with the credits.
If you take the credits away, it's like, what, an hour, maybe an hour 10 long?
Maybe an hour and 5, depending on I'm not sure how long the credits are, because sometimes credits are like 5 to 10 minutes long.
And, like I said, it's not bad. Hell, like I said, it's a kid's movie. It's meant what it's supposed to, and I would give it a watch. I give it a 10 out of 10.
I mean, I probably wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because there are some parts that were kind of cheesy.
Yeah, but that's just...
So I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10.
All right, well...
Maybe an 8.5.
All right, well, either way, that...
For the weird-ass dancing that happened when they found his cassette that he lost.
And I don't know what...
cassette player.
I don't know what...
He called it a stereo for some reason.
It's a cassette player.
Yeah, they found, like... Okay, so Zach had a cassette player. He lost it. Pips found it. He was like, didn't know what it was, and Zach's like, I'll tell you what it is, and then he played it, or he hit play, it was playing music, and he was getting everybody to dance, and everybody was dancing like fucking weird.
I don't know what that song they were playing, because...
I know what the song, I don't know the name of it, but I know the song, because I used to play it for marching band, or for band.
Well,
it was na 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 na.
All right. Well, either. All right. Either way, that is FERNGULLY, everyone. You can watch it anywhere. Voodoo.
It is on Disney Plus, but you have to like upgrade.
Yeah, I was like, I have Disney Plus. I'm like, fuck you, Disney. I'm not upgrading. I'll just go buy it on Voodoo. It's way cheaper.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can basically watch it anywhere. Like, I remember watching this as a little girl, and I've only seen it, like, a few times. And growing up as a child, like, Charlie says that he's watched it, like, a lot growing up, because his niece is actually named after the main character.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, because his sister really liked the name Krista. So then his sister named her daughter after the main character of FERNGULLY. Whether Krista knows that she's named after a character from a movie or not, I don't know.
Well, she'll find out sooner or later. But like I said, you can watch it anywhere. I like it. Jules like it. Now, we want to say thank you to the people who subscribe to us. We're at 46 right now. But,
we were going to wait until we got up to 50 before we showed our faces. But we have decided that our next episode, we will be showing our faces.
So this is the last audio episode you're going to get from us. So next week we're going to try to work out to make a video that you see our faces. Hopefully, we're going to do it as a trial base, see what it does.
Yeah, so it might not be the best quality because, I mean, all we've got is just my laptop and a microphone. So we're going to use the webcam on my laptop, and hopefully we can have some sort of good quality with this.
Plus, with the microphone, hopefully we can try to do something for y'all. And before you say, why can't we get better equipment? Well, we get paid in peanuts.
Yeah, we are both security guards, and we don't necessarily make a lot of money. And with the way that
this economy is,
with the way the economy is, with gas prices, rent, food, daily necessities, we just can't really afford to get us good equipment right at the moment. So
hell, I only got 3 bags of groceries. They cost me fucking $50.
Yeah, I got like 18 items and it cost me over $100.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? Why am I in? But still,
what the hell?
What the hell? Steve, if you're hearing this, we like you, man. Especially your Asian dad present.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we will try our best to update equipment as we can. So, I mean, just bear with us for now while we try to work on that.
And, hopefully you like what you see. Anyways. But, like I said, give us a like, a comment in the comments. And if you got something that we should fix to make the channel better, put it in the comments. We're not mind readers. We can only do so much as we can. Yeah. And if you got something that you want us to review, we'll try to put it on our list, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. So, next week's hint is actually going to be alchemy. So I am looking forward to actually talking about this. So, what do you think it is? Put that in the comments below.
That scientist.
So, anyways, I guess that is it for this episode. We will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.